It's an age-old problem, creating estimates for website projects. Am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? What's everybody else charging for this type of project? You see it all the time in Facebook groups and forums, people asking these questions. And I understand it because it's hard. I once quoted a website project for $12,000, which I thought was really, really high, and the client didn't even blink and accepted it. And I knew right then I had left money on the table again. But here's what I've discovered. AI can help us get way better at this and actually make it kind of fun. And I'm not talking about just throwing your project requirements into ChatGPT and hoping for the best. I'm talking about a systematic approach that really works. Now, I want to remind you that these training videos are brought to you by Project Management for Profit, where we teach website providers just like you how to deliver projects on time, within budget, with features that meet the client's business requirements without sacrificing profit. Because what good is a project estimate if you can't deliver on it profitably, right? So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps I use to leverage AI to create more precise project estimates. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into each step, but I'm laying out the roadmap for you, and I'll cover each step in subsequent videos. Today is about understanding the overall process so you'll know how all the pieces fit together. And this will be an entire series on creating better estimates with AI. Because here's the truth, when you follow this process, you'll stop getting that sick feeling in your stomach when the client accepts your estimate too quickly. You'll know that your numbers are solid. You'll know that you've thought through all the complexity and you'll be able to deliver on the project profitably. So let's talk about how to use AI to create project estimates that don't come back to haunt you 3 months later. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the 7 steps, some people don't worry too much about the accuracy of their estimate because they always include a pad. A pad is when you add extra money to the project, even though you don't know what it's for. Why do we pad in the first place? Most people add a pad to their project because they have a fear of the unknown. They don't know what they don't know. They do it as a way to cover potential scope creep. That's a really bad idea, and there's a much better way to do that as well. They do it because they didn't gather enough information in the pre-proposal meeting to do an accurate estimate. Wait a minute. There is no such thing as an accurate estimate. Estimate, by its definition, is just a best guess. So you need to stop using the words accurate estimate. You're giving a more precise estimate based on real numbers. Some people pad the estimate as a way to try to always come in under budget, and other people do it to try to retain their planned profit margin. This is a terrible way to estimate, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So let's look at a typical scenario. First, you have your pre-proposal meeting. Then you use the crystal ball approach to estimating. Then that comes out to about $4,000 in 3 weeks' work. Then you add a pad of $1,000 and an extra week of work, just in case. And then your actual project cost came in at $4,900 and actually 4 weeks' work. So your pad worked, right? No, because you don't know what it was used for. Padding your estimate means you can't measure, and you can't improve on what you can't measure, which means you're not going to get better at estimating, and you're not going to get better at delivering projects on time and within budget because you have no idea what that extra money was used for. Was it a client mistake? Was it your mistake? Was it something you forgot that you need to make sure that you don't forget next time? That's why the pad is bad. But what should you do instead? Well, here are 4 things you can do. Position project change as inevitable. Be honest with your client. Let them know that things are probably going to change and that you have a process in place to handle that. You got to have a really good, solid change control process, and you need to stick to it. That's the biggest problem. Most people have a change control process, but they don't stick to it. And that change control process needs to include a change budget. That is a topic for an entire another video, and we'll cover that later. But the biggest thing you can do instead of padding is to create better estimates. And I'm going to show you how to do that with AI. So here are the steps laid out in graphic format. First, you're going to record that pre-proposal meeting, whether that's a phone call, a Zoom call, in person. You're going to record that so you can get a transcript. There are lots of tools to help you do this. I know all you have to do is Google it. You'll find them. The one that I've used in the past is Otter AI, but there are tons of other ones, and there was more coming out every day. You just need some tool that will create a transcript from your conversation with the client. Then you're going to take that transcript and you're going to upload it into your AI model, your large language model. I find that Claude AI is best for this, at least right now at the time of this recording, but it could change because things are changing at breakneck speed. And you're going to ask AI to create you a project brief. And in a subsequent video, I'm going to show you how easy and fast this is. It's absolutely incredible. Then you're going to take that project brief and you're going to go back to the client and ask the client to validate that you got all the details right. This is crucial. You're stopping scope creep before you've even started the project simply by having the client validate the details, high-level bulleted details of the project before you start taking all the time to create an estimate. After that, you're going to take your project brief and you're going to ask AI to help you create a visual sitemap. Because after all, you cannot create an estimate unless you know how many pages are going to be on the website and what the functions of those pages are. Then you're also going to show this to the client and have them validate that this looks right to them. It's not carved in granite. It's nothing the client has to approve or sign off on. It's simply getting them to validate that right now, based on what we know, this sitemap looks right. Then you're going to use both the project brief and the sitemap to create your estimate. And this is how you do that. You take the project brief, you take the visual sitemap, you ask AI to help you create a rough order of magnitude for the content. This is the part that everybody leaves out, and it really does end up being a big problem on their projects, because if the client is providing the content, you've got to allow for the client not getting it done on time. Or if you're doing the content and then having the client edit it, that's a whole different estimate. So once you have this content rough order of magnitude, you're going to take your standard project plan, and I really hope you have one. But if you don't, just ask ChatGPT to create you one for a website development project and put in the details of your project. But if you want a better project plan that's already refined for website development and project planning activities, you can go over to the PM for Profit website, and we've got a free download over there for you. You can find that link below this video and in the pinned comment. So now you're going to use your content rough order of magnitude, your project plan, and then you're going to use AI to help you create that estimate based on what other website providers like you have estimated for this type project before. And it's going to be a line-by-line estimate based on your project plan. Now, is that the estimate you're going to provide to the client in your proposal? Absolutely not. You take that estimate and you refine it based on your own skill set, assumptions that AI may have made that are incorrect, assumptions that AI may have made that made you go, and you need to edit that final estimate that AI produces. So let's look at some estimating best practices that we just went over. First of all, validate the project brief and sitemap with the client. You're already way ahead at this point because now you know that you have gotten the details right. You want to make sure that you estimate the content first with a rough order of magnitude that you can feed into AI to help you figure out how long those content activities are going to take. You're going to want to use a standard project plan for websites and tailor it to the specific project that you're doing. For example, a standard website development project plan is probably not going to mention e-commerce, but if you're working on an e-commerce site, then you will need to tailor this project plan to show those activities. And then finally, you always want to review and tailor or modify the output that AI produces. It makes mistakes and it doesn't know you intimately in terms of what your skill set is and the time it takes you to complete things. So there you have it. Those are the 7 steps that I use to make sure that my projects are estimated most precisely and to make sure that I get paid for every little thing I do. And the rest of the videos in this series are going to show you the same thing. So if you want to be kept informed about the upcoming videos on how to create a project brief, how to create a standard project plan, and all the detailed steps about how to create an estimate with AI, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. And you know what I love about the website development community is that everybody really wants to help everybody else. So if you got some value from this video, I encourage you to like and also share it with your colleagues, because that way YouTube shows the videos to more people just like you. So you're helping out your community. But if you don't want to do that, there's also a link below this video and in the pinned comment where you can sign up for our newsletter. So you'll be kept abreast each week of anything that's been uploaded to our YouTube channel and any new training that's available on project planning with AI. And in this case, estimating with AI. So until I see you again, be sure to stay productive, stay strong, always keep learning, and remain forever grateful. And I'll see you in the next video.